because I do know that your time is very valuable to you. I know we have many more people signed up that probably will be joining us as we progress. I will let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Ernest Ejari. I've been around here for some time now with iCamLight Solutions. We have a lot going on as far as what we do is concerned. We actually occupy what I always say, we offer a broad spectrum of IT services across cybersecurity. We've been partners with different OEMs over the years. And we've had the privilege of taking care of some clients over the years. So actually the objective of this webinar, which is the first of many to come, we're going to have several series, is to equip our clients with the necessary knowledge, tools, and skills needed to, protect them, especially around what is going on right now, around cyber security landscape. There have been a lot of attacks. I have known many. I've experienced many. I have had to be called in, whether it's external or insider threats. We've had several. Over the years, I've had to come in, right? But the best approach around security remains being proactive. And that is what most people I've worked with, have not done a good job at. You don't want to wait until there's an attack before you wake up. Okay. So there's a lot is going on out there. What we want to do is to make sure you know what is going on, and we'll be bringing in security experts who who got their skin in the game. It's one thing to know about it, but it's another thing to be involved. So we're going to be working with some of our partners who that's what they do all the time, right? Most of you representing us right now probably work in different organization, be in manufacturing, oil and gas, wherever you represent, right? You don't have to deal with security on a daily basis, but we have some companies that's all they do. Okay. They've invested so much in research. They are security companies, and for us as a business, we have partnered with them, and one of the leading companies right now is Fortinet. I don't know if you've heard about them. Fortinet has been around for some time, right? They are a billion-dollar company. They've done very well in that space, and we have been partnered with Fortinet for over 10 years now. iCamLight has been working with them, with Fortinet. Today, we want to focus more on keeping hackers off every edge. We want to focus on keeping hackers off every edge. And we are not here to push any product to you. We are here to let you know what hackers are doing and what you can do to mitigate against, incident, to first of all prevent, and then you have to know what you want to prevent, right? So the knowledge is very important, and that's what we'll be sharing. So we encourage you to ask questions. The chat is open. We'll take questions and make sure it's interactive. And the session is being recorded. We also make sure we share that. So without saying so much more than that, I want to move on straight to introduce our presenter in person of Philip Lumor. Philip Lumor is a systems engineer with Fortinet, and Philip, I want you to come in and take the microphone.
All right, thanks, Ernest, and thanks for having me today. Like you said, my name is Philip Lumor. I work with Fortinet. I've been with Fortinet for the past 4 years, selling Fortinet solutions and trying to position cybersecurity in varied organizations. I'm based out of Accra, Ghana. Yeah, that's just a brief on me. And without further ado, I'll just share my screen and then we can go on from there. Kindly confirm if you can see my screen, please.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. So like Enna said, we're going to be talking about keeping hackers off every edge, and every edge in the sense that every edge that they can attack your network. So in terms of navigating the ever-evolving network landscape, today's users need a network that allows them to be able to connect to any resource from any location using any device whatsoever. But at the same time, data centers and campus networks also need to be able to operate in a hybrid IT architecture, working alongside next generation branch offices, private and public multi-cloud networks, remote networks as well, and also cloud-based SaaS applications, or what we call software as a service solutions. As a result of all of this, enterprise security teams are under an enormous pressure to be able to provide complete visibility across a very moving and distributed network environment, to be able to secure and also track every user and device accessing their data or application or even their workloads. And obviously this will present the cyber criminals with a very good opportunity to infiltrate your network from the edge. And once they are in, they can wreak havoc on your network. Unfortunately, most traditional security tools like your legacy firewalls were not designed for this sort of challenge. They were designed to be static, or what we call static network checkpoints, where workflows and data were very highly predictable. But those days are gone. I mean, what's needed now is a hybrid mesh firewall, which we simply call an HMF. So a hybrid mesh firewall solution to be able to integrate next generation firewalls across the network, and also form factors available, virtual form factors, cloud appliance form factors, to be able to enable that centralized management and coordinated response to all of these threats. And this solution needs to be able to protect your assets and users located anywhere. It's supposed to be able to help them converge and also distribute or consolidate distributed solutions to reduce your overhead, simplify your management, which is very key, and also enable automation. I mean, we're in an automated world now where everything is automated. Also, you want to be able to dynamically scale your services and your bandwidth to meet your constantly evolving business requirements. So we look at the problems. The data center, though essential, is no longer the primary location for corporate applications. Instead, applications can be deployed anywhere. Because a transaction or workflow may span multiple environments and applications, the source, the destination, and the data path can sometimes change several times, and it makes it impossible to be able to track and secure a transaction end to end. And then we also have 5G adoption, which has also left a lot of the traditional legacy firewalls struggling to be able to keep up, especially when 95% of all the traffic now is encrypted. And encrypted traffic, especially SSL or TLS channels, they're widely used to secure remote access and transactions. But however, cyber criminals also use encryption to be able to hide the malicious activities, such as stealing your company data and secrets, and also to be able to launch the ransomware attacks. And most firewalls cannot decrypt and inspect all of these encrypted traffic without seriously impacting the performance and the user experience. So most encrypted traffic, especially data traveling at very high speed, go uninspected, and that's unfortunate for our network environments. We also have multi-cloud environments and also a hybrid workforce, which are rewriting our security requirements. And the cloud enables an agile application development and also scale out or scale up functionality to be able to accommodate the growing application access by remote workers. However, numerous business critical applications still need to be housed in the on-prem and data center for reasons such as compliance, privacy. They need to be able to protect intellectual property or to secure sensitive records. Again, most traditional firewalls cannot support hybrid data centers use cases or including, user to data center or data center to cloud or user to cloud, and also data center to data center interconnect models. Ultimately, organizations will end up creating complex workarounds to be able to get disparate solutions to loosely work together. And this is causing the data center infrastructure to become more complex as the number of devices, servers, your switches, your routers, firewalls, load balancers, you name it, all of these interconnected components attempt to be able to provide a seamless flow of data between various systems and applications. And as the number of devices and the volume of data traffic increases, your network complexity will also increase, and it makes it more challenging to be able to manage or monitor or even troubleshoot the issues that you might have. I also want to touch on a few IT trends and some customer challenges when it comes to protecting our edge. So we're seeing four major industry trends. We have digital acceleration. We have the move to work from anywhere. As a result from COVID in recent times, we have an increased sophistication and intensity of the threats that are coming, and also that lack of skilled professionals as well as application journey. And all of these trends are affecting how we're protecting the edge from the hackers. So according to Gartner, 69% of respondents to a post-COVID survey confirmed that they were undertaking digital acceleration initiatives. And this digital acceleration created a perfect storm of complexity for managing their cybersecurity and their network infrastructures. The perimeter has also become more fragmented with many security teams and tools operating in silos. And all of this is fracturing the visibility that you need over your network security, as well as limiting the control. Again, applications and data are no longer contained within your corporate data center. Instead, they reside across distributed networks. And all of this is creating billions of edges that need to be protected from these bad guys. Additionally, we have operational technology in OT environments, which were traditionally separate, but now connected to the business, also connected to OEMs and also other third-party solutions. So you need to be able to manage, control that edge as well. The next one is work from anywhere. The walls separating the home and the corporate office has eroded significantly since the COVID-19 pandemic, and is giving the bad guys or the adversaries a very new and easy exploited vector for gaining a foothold in the corporate network. And also this will increase the risk, as many home networks are purely or poorly secured. As a result of the move to work from home, it has rapidly expanded the attack surface, which traditional network security finds hard to protect. And work from anywhere is here to stay as much as we like it. According to a survey conducted by Gartner as well, again in 2021, 52% of CISOs or CIOs expected work from home to increase even after the pandemic, and we can see that today. And Forrester also recently noted that 74% of organizations had suffered business impacting cyber attack, which are attributed to remote work vulnerabilities. And as a result of this, IT finds it increasingly difficult to be able to provide a consistent user experience while maintaining a reactive security posture to the different levels of risk each connection poses to them. And that challenge is also compounded even further with the simultaneous growth of shadow IT. Nearly 37% of respondents in a survey reported that employees had actually purchased specific mobile-specific applications without direct approval from IT. As part of the application journey, there's been an explosion of hybrid multi-cloud or cloud network and even cloud native platforms. And while organizations are facing an increasing duty and pressure to be socially responsible, their approach to cybersecurity has a direct impact on the management of certain environment, social, and guidance issues. And it does make cybersecurity a growing issue for senior management and also board members. Specifically, their choice of security solutions will impact their environmental sustainability, the way they collect or store and secure their employee, customer, and also partner data has become a governance issue that goes beyond the IT department. And similarly, their responsibility for raising cybersecurity awareness among employees and their broader value chain is also key to strong governance. And edge computing is moving applications and data center closer to the users and devices. And by the end of this year, 50% of large enterprises would have documented edge computing strategies compared to less than 5% in 2020. That number is really staggering. However, the cost of doing so include increased deployment, operational and also security complexity, along with an even greater loss of visibility as the organizations will struggle to monitor the original and local cloud on top of the hybrid and multi-cloud environments they already have in place. And organizations must be able to deliver secure digital experiences across their complete application journey roadmaps. The final trend, which is the evolving threat landscape. I mean, cybercrime has become more and more sophisticated. It's become more widespread, and actually become more relentless. The expanding attack surface, including the move to work from anywhere, which I talked about, has really created a very lucrative opportunity for these cyber criminals to be able to exploit old and new vulnerabilities. Ransomware in particular offers a very low investment, high profits business model, which is irresistible to the cyber criminals. According to a mid-year 2021 FortiGuard Labs threat landscape report, ransomware incidents increased nearly 11-fold from 2020 to 2021. And in a recent global ransomware survey conducted by Fortinet, 67% of organizations reported having been a ransomware target, with nearly half saying that they had been targeted more than once. I mean, this is scary. And so you have multi-step attacks, which require a unified defense that automatically prevents or disrupts and also limits attacks in real time. I mean, what is the reality of all of these data breaches? According to Ponemons, I think this is back in 2020, their study, they found that the global average cost of a data breach to be $3.86 million. I mean, the number would have skyrocketed by now. Also looking at Verizon's DBIR report, 70% of breaches are due to external attacks, and most of which are carried out by cyber criminals who are motivated by financial gain. The other 30% is due to internal attacks, which we most often forget. They also found out that 30% of organizations took months to be able to discover that attackers were within their networks, and organizations need to be able to have tools to not only stop the attacks, but also detect when they are breached. And so, I mean, just not to scare you, but we have challenging times ahead because organizations are going to face more and more challenges the next few years. According to FortiGuard Labs, our Fortinet stress research team, they are observing 3 key areas that attackers are investing in. The first is the use of AI fuzzing to test operating systems and applications for vulnerabilities with the goal of discovering new unknown exploits, leading to zero-day threats for organizations. Secondly, there's also the progress being made by these cyber criminals towards developing and deploying what we call swarm-based attacks. So these attacks literally leverage hijack devices divided into subgroups, each with specialized skills. So they target your networks or your devices as an integrated system and share intelligence in real time to refine the attack as it is happening. And so some technologies require large amounts of processing power to be able to enable individual swarm bots to efficiently share information in a bot swarm. And this enables them to be able to rapidly discover, share, and also correlate vulnerabilities, and then shift the attack methods to better exploit what they discover. The final trend is the expansion of malware as a service platform to include a variety of tools, which enables threat actors to be able to launch a threat campaign via a few clicks. So now, how do we protect our networks from all of these challenges and trends that I've talked about? All of these cyber attack trends and data breaches. Supporting and securing hybrid architecture requires really a single lens visibility across the entire distributed network. And this includes the knowledge of every user and device on your network, and also the applications and resources that they are accessing. Plus, it's necessary to also identify anomalous behavior and also malicious activity everywhere it occurs. And so we're able to marshal all necessary security resources to direct a timely coordinated response in stopping all of these threats, and that's very key to stopping the threats. To support today's expanding networks and their numerous edges, many businesses have begun adopting disparate secure access service edge, which we call SASE, SD-WAN, and also ZTNing or zero trust network access solutions. And obviously, this creates complexity while fracturing visibility, compromising user experience, and also limiting the ability to be able to respond to attacks. So what's needed really is the next generation firewall approach, which integrates all of these functions to provide a contextually coordinated security across the network, which you can see in the diagram above on the screen. So an HMF, which I talked about, so an HMF solution combines on-premise and cloud-native solutions with a unified management component. And a unified security solution provides coordinated protection to multiple areas of enterprise IT, including corporate sites, branches, campuses, data centers, public and private clouds, and also remote workers. And because of its native interoperability, an HMF deployment simplifies your operations, it ensures compliance, and also reduces complexity, and enables a broad automation to be able to increase your operational efficiency. And it doesn't matter if you have all on-premise firewalls or cloud firewalls or a mix of both. The enhanced value lies in the centralized and unified management across all your firewall deployments. Fortunately, regardless of where security needs to be deployed, whether a campus or data center environment, or even a multi-cloud network, or branches, or even your home office, the use cases are remarkably similar. And so addressing them requires breaking down security into three primary functions: protect, converge, and scale, which we'll talk about in the next few slides. And so by understanding these three concepts, you can implement a security strategy designed to deliver a seamless user experience and protection aligned with your business goals. So the first part, which is protecting your network, the main objective is to be able to protect any threats from entering the network, first of all. But if that should happen, then the next step is to be able to minimize business disruptions as fast as we can. So a next generation firewall needs to be aware of the entire application lifecycle. including interoperating with tools to be able to accelerate application access and use. And this includes providing essential web filtering, which augmented with advanced image recognition and also video content filtering to be able to ensure that you have acceptable use and compliance. The next generation firewall solution also needs to be able to provide advanced security solutions to prevent known zero-day and unknown attacks with an integrated intrusion prevention system and also anti-malware. And it needs to be able to support constantly shared threat intelligence feeds from complementary products like email security and sandboxes, and also to be able to detect and prevent the latest threats. It needs to be able to interoperate with other solutions such as your endpoint detection and response solution, EDR, your web application firewalls, and other security systems. And this combination of native threat protection and integration with other technologies ensure that the network is effectively protected against all current and emerging threats. The next bit, which is convergence, a next generation firewall typically should also be able to provide full visibility into sophisticated attacks that hide in secure HTTPS channels to be able to steal data and load ransomware. It should also seamlessly integrate essential networking and security functions into a unified solution, whether it's delivered directly from an on-premise next generation firewall or through a cloud-delivered SASE, which combines advanced routing and connectivity functions with dynamic security solution. It also needs to be able to identify any user, device, or application requesting access and automatically assign it to its appropriate network segments. I mean, talking of a NAC in there. And this requires natively integrated proxy services. When the device makes its initial access request, the firewall needs to work with endpoint clients for users and servers, and also network access control for Internet of Things. And also industrial Internet of Things. We normally forget about them. It needs to be able to work with all of these solutions, and it needs to be able to support multi-factor authentication to determine the role of a user or a device linked to its associated policies, and also to be only to be able to grant access to the application or segment or the segment of the network required for it to do its job. For applications and workflows that move from one environment to another, a next generation firewall needs to be able to understand, implement, and also enforce the same policy everywhere. And this consistent orchestration and enforcement approach built with a single pane of glass management allows security to be able to follow applications, follow workflows, and other transactions end to end. So we're using our 40 OS in this case everywhere to make sure that we're converging network and cybersecurity. And as we've been saying a lot of network gear don't really understand about applications. They lack awareness and content about the users. So we bring cybersecurity threat intelligence in, and we converge them through using our 40 OS to be able to provide new applications, new services like SD-WAN, ZTNA, SASE, secure access points, and switches for OT environments. Obviously, the benefits you get from converging network and security are you get a reduced complexity, because you're eliminating multiple point products. You have an efficient operations because all of that is coming from a single console. You have end-to-end digital experience measurement, and you're able to save costs, which is key to most businesses. The final point is being able to scale for tomorrow. Regardless of where a firewall is deployed, one thing remains true. It needs to be fast, and it will need to be even faster tomorrow, because today's data centers generate and process massive amounts of data at transactional speeds. And whether it's big data for advanced modeling or low latency for high-speed financial transactions, or even hyper performance for massive multi-user environments. So speed refers to how quickly a firewall can inspect data, and also its ability to be able to support automation. A next generation firewall needs to effectively protect the network from high-speed attacks with advanced and coordinated security, as well as not being bogged down with time-consuming manual provisioning efforts. And these manual provisioning operations really slow things down, and configuration errors can be compromised by ransomware and other attacks. The challenge is that most traditional firewalls are already running at capacity, which means that they can't scale much to meet the growing business demands. And that's because they were never designed with hyperscale performance in mind. The biggest problem is that they rely on the off-the-shelf processors in an age where everything, whether graphic cards, smartphones, or even cloud servers, run on custom chips. And security is a processor-intensive activity, and scaling to be able to meet today's performance, that demands requires that you're delivering full firewall functionality without sacrificing performance or overwhelming your IT limited and security budgets. To end, I just really want to highlight how Fortinet covers all of these use cases. I mean, what we talk about the security fabric, the Fortinet security fabric, what does it look like under the hood? This image really illustrates the many features of the security fabric, including how the fabric is optimized for leading use cases based on internal and external feedback, including telework or work from home, cloud services, your SOC, and so on. Also, the full attack surface is covered, including the network, the endpoints, the cloud, providing a consistent approach for hybrid deployment. Also, we're using common security and management frameworks on a powerful, high-performing platform or platforms, either hardware or VMs, to be able to achieve all of this. And we're able to decrypt traffic with SSL inspection and use other security features to look deep into traffic and allow the needed detection and enforcement. And we're able to also coordinate multiple products using zero trust network access to simplify management and also reduce the attack surface. So in a nutshell, that is our take on how to be able to protect the edge from the hackers. Thanks so much. Ernesto, over to you.
Thank you so very much, Philip. Really appreciate that. While Philip was presenting, I know I want to give room for questions at this point. Looking at the chart, we really didn't. I want to believe most people were paying attention and not busy typing. So at this point, if you have any question whatsoever for our presenter today, Philip, please feel free to, if you want to unmute and talk, you can just simply raise up your hand, or, that just use the raise sign there and unmute and ask your questions, or you can simply drop your question in the chat box. Like I said, this is going to be our first. We're going to have many more. We also appreciate your feedback. I think I should start by saying one takeaway from here should be a documented edge computing strategy. I don't know how many of us, because I know we have a lot of IT people here, network and IT leaders. I want you to ask yourself that question. In subsequent events, we will take a poll, right? Take a poll to see a real-time response on how many of you have a documented edge computing strategy, like that is written down. Because one problem with security is once there is a change of role, people move around, right? People change companies. When it is one person that have an understanding and visibility of the strategy, if it's not documented, that is a problem in itself. So most of the issues we have can be taken care of, like just starting from first principle. Let's start documenting whatever strategies it is we have in place. Okay, and also want to Philip mentioned ransomware. I also don't know how many of our attendees here have had a ransomware incident. Um, yes. I don't know how many of us have had a ransomware incident. Um, we need to also be aware of that. Okay, while Philip was talking, I have a client over 10 years who actually had a ransomware attack, and um, it cost them some millions of naira to get it, to get it back. And if you are not experienced with that, you can even fall into the wrong hands because they keep coming back. They have ransomware negotiators that you better involve. If you negotiate yourself, they already know the vulnerability. They keep coming back if you don't take care of it. We have a question, a comment here. Most Fortinet firewalls use both hardware and software to protect network from intruder. That's a question from Yunusa. Philip, you want to speak to that?
Yes, I'm just trying to understand the question. Okay, so for in terms of form factors, if is that what you mean, we have varied form factors for our Fortinet firewall, which is called the FortiGate. You can have that deployed as an appliance or hardware. You can have that deployed as a virtual machine if that is your take, or you can also have that in public cloud. So we have the option for, I mean, because there's a lot of move to the cloud workloads now. If you want to buy a Fortinet firewall in the cloud, you can buy from the public cloud marketplaces, or better still, take your own license to the cloud by buying an MBY or license. And the firewall runs our 4D OS, which is our proprietary OS, to be able to run all the configurations, the policies, etc. Yeah. I hope I answered the question correctly. I just trying to understand the question well.
Yeah, I think the question is, yeah, I think you've done a good job there, Philip. The question was, it was trying to confirm if Fortinet firewall use hardware and software, which of course I think you've mentioned. So they are appliance based, and then you also, of course, within the appliance there's a 4D OS running on it, right? So in that
Absolutely. Yeah,
sense,
correct.
it's a combination of software and hardware, right?
Yeah.
But there are also, like Philip is saying, there are also some of the form of it that are 100% maybe software, right? The virtualized ones. So you have virtualized firewall. Like if you were to be having your workloads in public cloud like AWS or GCP or Azure, I'm sure
Yeah.
you will not go plug in a hardware, right? So
No. Definitely
Fortinet
not.
has a virtualized firewall, correct, Philip?
Yes, correct. We have a virtualized firewall. And like you're mentioning, if you're going to Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba, Oracle Cloud, you can actually purchase the Fortinet firewall from their marketplace as well. Or you can take your own, I mean, you can virtualize from your end and access your cloud workloads.
And just to piggyback on that, if you are not in the public cloud and you have your own environment, you also can have the option to virtualize your firewall, Philip?
Yeah, correct. Correct. You can have that option. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
So because we still have a little bit of time, I wanted to ask Philip to shed more light because I don't want to assume that everybody here understand what you mean by SASE. I see that you mentioned it and you breezed through it. Do you want to expatiate more on SASE?
Okay, just give me a second. I want to bring up a slide.
And while you are bringing up the slide, he also make mention of ZTNA.
Yeah.
Zero trust network access. I don't want to take it for granted that we don't assume. I know there are a lot of us here are IT leaders who are probably familiar, but this is a learning environment. While you are explaining SASE, please also throw some light on ZTNA, zero trust network access. These are terms thrown around, right? But when you understand
Yeah.
them, they are very easy. So we don't want to, the whole objective of this webinar, this series of webinars that will be coming is equipping you with the knowledge and tools that you need.
Yes, that's correct. Just give me a second.
And while Philip is pulling up his slide, I also want to say here that everybody is celebrating AI, right? Artificial intelligence. But for IT leaders and computer experts and network administrators, what that also means is that it's going to be much more easier now to come up with a malware, right? People will use AI to create malware. So malware, ransomware attack are going to increase with AI as well. So we have to be ready. Okay, Philip, you have the mic.
Yeah, my PC is freezing a bit. I'm wondering why that is. Okay, just going
I
to
can see your
skip
screen
through.
now. We can see your
Okay,
screen.
great.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, this slide just really highlights all the different Fortinet solutions. I mean, this is not a marketing session, but just to be able to explain that zero trust, I just want you to have an idea of all the solutions that make up a zero trust network access. So, I mean, really, the zero trust network solution addresses the issues of being able to protect devices when they are on and off the network, and also to be able to know who and what is on your network. The idea being that in the zero trust environment for network access, you don't want to extend access to your network without knowing who that is, what it is, and also what state the device is in. So we have the 40 NAC, which is essentially our NAC solution for identifying what's on the customer's network. And the 40 NAC enables customers to be able to accurately identify what devices are on the network, and then decide and enforce how they may behave inside the network as well. So for example, from IP phones, cameras, and printers, you can define the level of access these devices have on your network and configure your switches on your wireless access points to be able to handle those devices appropriately. Additionally, it's able to continuously monitor the network to identify new devices that are coming onto the network, as well as look out for anomalies. And as users are coming onto the network, we have two solutions, with two multi-factor authentication solutions, 40 token and 40 authenticator, to make sure that those devices are essentially who they say they are. So they help to reduce the risk from weak or potentially stolen passwords. And with two-factor authentication provided by these two solutions, you know exactly who is getting onto your network. And then again, you're providing the right level of access to that user. I'm going to go to SASE.
Philip, before you move on to SASE, I just want to quickly ask here. So when you have, because I know there are different use cases, right, for zero trust. So you could have a situation where authenticated users, like domain users, right, are already on the network. They are known. Okay. You also could have, especially with BYOD, where employees are allowed to bring their laptops, right, or computers or phone to connect. So how does ZTNA play out in these two use cases? Because on one hand, you don't want people to keep having to enter or do MFA, because users, our users could be a pain in the neck for them to have to enter password or re-authenticate when they already have done authentication through AD, right? And so how do you marry this? How do you balance? What is the balance between performance and security here?
Okay, so that's where the Fortinet comes in. So it's able to profile all of these devices and classify them as known or unknown. And the unknown ones would be the ones that pop onto the network and have not been profiled formally. And so once they come onto the network and it notices them, it will profile them and then grant them the right level of access that you've already preset on the Fortinet. So then if it has to give them a captive portal to sign in, it will do that, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So pretty much there are policies that the IT admins can put in place, right?
Exactly. You define that. Yeah.
Okay. So let's touch on SASE.
Okay. So SASE now is a really big buzzword. So for the SASE, in our sense of SASE, is a Fortinet hosted cloud delivered secure remote access solution, which is powered by our FortiOS again, and also our FortiGuard security services. And so organizations can extend their secure web gateway, their firewall as a service, their CASB, their DLP, their IPS, and also their ZTNA to, not forgetting the SD-WAN, to secure their remote workforces. Essentially, you want to be able to extend the security profile that you have in your corporate network to your remote users. So the solution provides, the broadest range of security-driven networking solutions on the market. And rather than it being an isolated cloud-only approach, SASE offers also cloud SASE extensions or SASE services as an extension of the Fortinet security fabric to be able to extend and also leverage the power of the Forti OS. And because it's a unified and distributed model, it gives our solution users that the powerful suite of SASE services, which are not only intuitive to deploy and also to manage, but they ensure that you have a consistent protection across the dynamic and distributed networks. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what our SASE does.
Thank you very much. So it's very important, especially in this age of remote access, right? Remote internet access. So it's very important. So thank you very much, Philip. We appreciate your time. We know a lot of our attendees here are very busy people. And what we tend to do is to give you your time back in the day. We hope that we have been able to address some areas. I can see that. Okay, question from Shamsuddin. Can we have the presentation, Philip?
Yeah, absolutely. I can share with you.
So we will send back.
Okay. Yeah, I think we have a recorded version. Yeah.
We also have a recorded version too. So we share this with you all. We have your details here, and we definitely make sure that we pass this. We make sure that we get back to you with all of these. Okay, we're going to. I'm making sure that I'm downloading the attendance list now, so that I make sure that as many of you have attended today, you get the recording and the presentation as the case may be. Okay. I don't know if we have any other question, but let me just talk on the next steps as to what we'll be doing. Like I said, we said it earlier, this is the focus. Our focus here is to educate. Our focus here is to equip our attendees with the needed tools, skills, and knowledge to combat, hackers and cyber criminals. The problem with cyber security is that the challenge is not restricted to your geographical location, right? Other form of security, like people breaking into your building or stealing stuff, is people can have to live in your geographical location. But with cyber security, like the company I talked about, they've been my client for over 10 years, right? And they're in the oil and gas space. You would think that they have everything, but trust me, some hackers in India took over their whole SAP server. And you know what that means? A company that has enough budget to invest in SAP. And for some hackers sitting down in India to take ownership of that, the IT manager was almost fired when he called me. Okay. We have to quickly rally around and see how to recover that situation. So these things are real. You don't want to wait until it happens to you. One problem with cybersecurity is it sounds like it's noise, or people are just trying to sell stuff or just making noise about something until it happens, and you don't want to wait until it happens. Okay, we'll also be, as part of our series on cybersecurity webinars, part of what we'll be asking for will be your feedback on areas you will want to learn more, because we want to make sure that we address your needs, we fill the gap that you have, and not what we think we have. So please, we appreciate your feedback on topics you will want us to cover, right? Today, we have spent time on keeping hackers off the edge, and take home from here is, please make sure you have a documented edge computing strategy that you can share with your team. If you are the leader, please have it and share with your team. And if you are a team member, I think this can help you get a spotlight from your leadership, suggest to your leadership that we need to have a documented edge computing strategy. That is like having a focus, having an open mind, knowing that the attack surface have really increased right now. Back in the days, we have a lot of our workloads within our data center, but right now applications are all over the place, all over the place. We can't even, we don't even know where they are again. So you need to understand, to really understand where your applications are. Every company, every organization's case is unique. So sit down and do your own analysis and document something. Please let that be our take home. We will also be reaching back to you on the next webinar session we'll be having. We will let you know what the topic is. We also be willing to hear from you what areas you want us to touch on. Okay, ICAM Life Solutions is here to serve you. It's here to partner with you to ensure that your environment is secured. And we work with companies like Fortinet because we cannot do it all by ourselves. So we stand on the shoulders of those that are taller than us. Fortinet spend a lot of billions of dollars investment in that company, and they've been leading global leaders in this space. So they know what they are talking about, they know what they are doing. So we stand with people like them and make sure that we are able to address your needs, especially as far as knowledge is concerned. So that being said, I want to thank you all for coming today. We'll get back to you with the recordings like has been requested, or the presentation. And we can't thank you enough. Looking forward to seeing you at the next series. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Okay.